Welcome, everybody. Just getting all the streams set up. We are going to have Taskmaster join us. He's just getting into the weighing room, I think. Reaching some problems. So it should be anytime now.
Hello.
Hey. Welcome in. We are live, just so you know. Just pushed it.
Can you fire me the Spaces link?
Yeah. Sending it over right now.
So I'll get logged in on my phone.
Cool. Just sent it to
Tell
you
me
on
if
Discord. Yeah, let us know in the threadcast if you guys hear an echo, but I think we should be
All right, I
squared away.
sent you a request. So let's see if there's an echo on my end. Testing 1, 2, 3, testing.
Yep, I can hear you.
Any echo?
I don't hear an echo. Actually, I do hear an echo now on your computer.
How about now?
Testing. Now we're good.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah, I got my headphones in my phone,
Cool.
So that should take care of it.
Awesome. Thanks, Task, for filling in again. Mitch has been busy scaredy cat lately. He's been running around doing all the real estate stuff. So appreciate you for filling in while we have kind of the exciting times for the Leo ecosystem, to say the least. I'm gonna get the threadcast open here. The announcements are all out, so we're good to go. In honor of Mitch, very quick market talk because I know Task hates it. Bitcoin's at 103K, or I guess now 104K. Some other things have been climbing as well. Rune is up nearly 2x off the bottom, so it's over $2 now. And obviously, with the intense focus on Thorchain and Rune and Maya and Chainflip, the entire cross-chain ecosystem. The Rune doing well is good for everybody, really, at the end of the day. So I'm very happy to see where things have been going. I posted a video a few weeks ago on February 24th, I think, where I talked about Thorchain. I talked about the TCY launch. I talked about Rune and where I thought we would see the ecosystem go in terms of price. I know that's what everyone loves to talk about, and that video ended up getting pretty good views relative to what our videos usually get. And so people love the price talk, and I was just talking about how I thought Rune was mispriced in the market. Obviously what was really being priced in was the ThorFi situation and people not knowing for sure if Thorchain would survive. So with that in mind, the Rune price was not doing very well for a while. We were kind of sideways around the $1.30 mark. And when I made that video, I said, if this TCY launch is successful, and I was obviously confident that it was going to be, that Rune would perform extremely well. And I expected to see a quick recovery to around $3 because, relative to, like if you remove the ThorFi situation from the equation, where the rest of the market kind of was, and now the market's obviously recovered too. Where the market was, Rune should have been around $3. If this ThorFi thing didn't happen. And that's, by the way, with Bitcoin going down to like 85K, which wasn't that long ago. Now that Bitcoin's back over 100, I think you can adjust that $3 target, even higher now that the ThorFi situation is completely cleared out. So, TCY's live. It went really well. It's up. And also, by the way, my price prediction for TCY was about 30 cents, and we are at literally 30 cents. So everything's kind of gone as best as I think I could have imagined, better than I think I could have imagined for the Thorchain ecosystem. and in terms of price action and all that stuff. So at the end of the day, when you look at a token's price, whether it's Leo, whether it's Rune, whether it's Cacao, or anything else, it's just it's not exactly a reflection of the current moment, but it is a reflection of sentiment. And it is a little bit of a scoreboard, right? You can't deny that it's somewhat of a scoreboard. So if the price is going up, over a long period of time, and the Rune price is doing well right now, it is a good signal that things are recovering and doing better. So I'm happy to see, Rune getting back to places where I think it should be. And with our focus on LeoDex and growing our place in the cross-chain ecosystem, it is definitely great to see Rune seeing some success. I also am obviously a big investor in Rune and have been since the multi-chain ChaosNet days, but we'll keep tracking it and seeing where things go. It's ultimately everything happening right now is very good for Leo, very good for LeoDex, very good for everything that we've been focusing on. And the team's been, really working overtime on making a lot of these things happen, and the development side of things. If you've been paying attention for the past, 1 to 2 weeks, we've been absolutely, working our asses off when it comes to development. So, we've been literally rolling out updates every single day. And if you look at, I was actually looking at a funny screenshot of LeoDex 2 weeks ago compared to LeoDex today. So 2 weeks ago, we only had one tab on LeoDex, and it was for swaps. And then if you fast forward to today, we now have 4 different tabs. So you've got the swap tab that we had before. Now you've also got the dashboard page. You've got the referral page, and now you've got the TCY dashboard. So we literally went from having, just swaps, and we focused for a long time to make swaps work really well, which is why it did take some time to build that up. And now you've got the dashboard, referrals, TCY dashboard, and everything that goes along with what's built those, which is a lot of work. I think we have the best, pretty much the only TCY manager dashboard in the industry, in my opinion. I do foresee like a lot of other projects are going to start building dashboards, and I think it's a really good idea to give people a great way to manage their TCY position, and obviously be able to buy and sell TCY easily. So we're also talking with, we've got a meeting actually tomorrow with the Kujira Index team. So I know that they're working on something really cool that they're calling YTCY. So Task is going to love this, and Task, I'll give you a second if you want to talk about it. I see you jump back to listeners, so I just added you as a speaker again on X Spaces. But it's interesting to see what's going to happen next, because you've got the Rujira ecosystem really still in its infant stages in terms of being built up, and then you've got things like the Kujira Index team, considering YTCY, and other developments like derivatives and other things that are going to start coming out. And what we're going to do with LeoDex is just really focus on UI and UX and make the UI UX as great as we can. And from there, support all these different derivatives and features and, perps and other things, and just make a really great UI for them. And then I think that's our place in this cross-chain ecosystem. The volume has been growing. Where in the past week, we did about 700,000 in trading volume on LeoDex. So as many of you know, my goal is 4.4 million per month in trading volume for LeoDex. That's kind of my next, target. So everything we do is kind of oriented to make the best app that we can and chase that 4.4 million per month goal. So yeah, we just keep grinding away at new features. It's been a lot of fun so far. It's a lot of fun to focus on this industry that's growing, and there's new users, and the user counts are always hitting all-time highs. The trading volume is hitting all-time highs, and other teams are innovating and doing great things and want to work together. So I'm really happy with everything that's been going on lately. Task, what's your opinion on everything I just talked about? And I did talk about a lot.
Well, I think, as I've said in a couple other times I've been on here, the key is to not look at this as a exchange, in my opinion. Don't look at it as an exchange, but look at this as being the foundation for a financial application. And basically, the key to this is scalability doesn't come really from the LeoDex team. It comes from the teams behind or building on these different protocols. And whatever they implement, and as Cal just mentioned, the perpetual, then it's just a matter of the Leo team integrating that application or that feature into LeoDex. So when you start to look at some potentialities down the road of perpetuals, of collateralized lending, of different types of swaps on different types of products, maybe relating to interest rates or different types of things like that, different yield earning products that potentially could be added to these protocols, similar to bonds and things of that nature via staking and whatever other mechanisms they come up with. So that's really a very important distinction, in my opinion, is not to look at this so much as just a DEX, even though it's called LeoDex. I look at it as Leo Financial Network, and this is just some of the first features that are going to be incorporated. And then when I go over to Xscanner, today is a quote unquote relatively slow day on Xscanner, but it still did 15,000 in volume and almost $70 in earnings. Whereas before, there were days where we did $70 in volume. So the fact is, like Cal said, more being added, more volume, more users, more people getting the word out there is very important. And Cal mentioned an idea to me offline here a few days ago, but I won't mention that. But it seems like a good idea. I'll mention if he forgets what it was. I don't know if he remembers what he mentioned.
I do remember.
Okay, so he'll probably get to that. So LeoDex.
Yeah, you're welcome to mention it too.
Oh, I'll leave that to you. It's your thunder. LeoDex, as I've mentioned, just to finish this point up, then I'll let you get on with your next thing. There's two pillars, in my opinion, right now to Leo. LeoDex and then AI, and AI integration into different things. And that's really where I think the focus has to be. Now, obviously, there's timing, there's focus, there's resources. Where do we put our attention? And we talked a little bit last week about, some of the hangups. I mean, granted, Rafiki had some headwinds this week, but some of the hang up with Leo AI, and a lot of it is not having enough data. But LeoDex, in spite of that, LeoDex is progressing forward. So just keep your eye on these two pillars and ask yourself, what can I do to help either of these two pillars?
Yeah, I think one of our biggest values is that we are coming into this cross-chain space with an existing community and an existing team, and both the team and community have done a lot in terms of building, an app and a network and a community in the crypto space. This is not, we're not brand new to building. We're just brand new to building in cross-chain. So we're taking everything that we've learned, for the last 6 years and applying it to, what we do in real time. I think we've, by the way, I think there's an echo on X task on your end. But we've taken a lot of the things we've learned from the last 6 years and are applying it in real time. And I've seen a lot of people on X in the cross-chain space, like, saying, wow, where did LeoDex come from? Like, we just kind of like emerged really during the TCY launch is when people started to notice us. So if you didn't know, we're building for a few months. Now there's an echo on Restream task. We were building for a few months, and we've been building LeoDex actually for close to a year now. So originally LeoDex was for Maya protocol, and we had always planned on adding Thorchain support down the road. But we focused on Maya protocol, and obviously the Leo token got launched on Maya, and they helped us, put out a pool on Maya. So there's, the Leo Cacao pool. So we focused on supporting Maya. And we knew that one day we would make a lot of updates and support all the routes for cross chain and support Thorchain as well. But within Leo development, it just took obviously a backseat position in terms of doing things. So while we got things on Inleo to a very stable place where they are now, we were able to shift to LeoDex over the last few months. So over the last few months, we've started to put a lot of effort into LeoDex, and then the TCY launch was like our moment to be, now that we're full time on it. The TCY launch was our moment to show what we're really capable of. We were the first UI to support claiming and swaps for TCY. So on that day one of TCY going live, we did like $500,000 in swap volume. So that was really, really great to see and really nice to get some volume from the ecosystem and support. So you guys probably saw on X, we got a lot of really good publicity around the TCY launch and being able to support it off the bat. Since then, we didn't just sit back and say, okay, well, we made it and we're good now. We've really leaned in. And with TCY, we launched the new TCY dashboard, which, by the way, I was going to share this post from X that we just put out with a contest. So if you guys want to earn some TCY, I just shared it in the Threadcast. But you can share a picture of the TCY dashboard on X, tag the LeoDex account, invite some friends, and then you can earn 100 TCY for participating. So just a little contest to celebrate the launch of the TCY dashboard. So the TCY dashboard was a lot of effort as well. Being able to show global statistics, the real-time and historical price of TCY, and then obviously allowing, staking, unstaking, and then tracking your rewards. So there's a couple features on that dashboard that I really like. And actually, it might just be a good moment right now to go into that. But to finish up my thought, the TCY launch was our moment to shine, really, and show what we're capable of building, especially in real time and kind of under the gun in terms of timing. So we supported it right off the bat, and then we're able to kind of iterate as we went. So I'm sharing a screenshot of the TCY dashboard right now because some of you probably haven't seen it yet.
While you do that, Cal, before we get on to the next thing, why don't we knock out a couple of the questions after you're done with this section?
Cool. Yeah, it sounds like a plan. So the TCY dashboard, if you click in the Threadcast, you'll see that image. You also can obviously go to leodex.io/TCY and connect your wallet and see it for yourself. But in that image, you can see your TCY balance. You can see the asset allocation, which is if you have liquid TCY in your wallet and staked TCY in your wallet, it'll show you the breakdown of how much you have liquid versus staked. It shows you the historical price chart of TCY. And we actually have created our own API for that price feed. And then it'll show you the TCY stats. So it'll show you the market cap of TCY right now, which is 57 million. It'll show you the TCY liquidity in the pool, which is about 1.4 million. It'll show you the total amount of staked TCY out there, which is 122 million. And it'll show you the percent of TCY's market cap versus the Rune market cap, which is 6.7% right now. Below that, you'll see where you can do actions around TCY. So for the kind of that bottom section, if you haven't connected your wallet, it just says connect wallet because you obviously need to connect to do any of this stuff. But you can stake, unstake, and track your rewards for TCY. So in the screenshot I shared, we're looking at the rewards tab. The stake and unstake tabs are pretty self-explanatory. You can look at how much liquid versus staked you have, and you can either stake more or unstake some of what you've got. So the buttons there are obviously very self-explanatory. For the rewards tab, I really like this because what we did is we show the full staked amount you have. We show the global APR for staking TCY, which right now is about 4.5%. We show the TCY price. We show the total amount of Rune that you've earned, since staking TCY. So that's like the lifetime earnings you've had from staking TCY. And then it shows the reward history breakdown. So it shows literally every day because TCY earns Rune every single day, every 24 hours, essentially. So it'll show you each payout that's ever happened to your wallet. So in this screenshot, you can see how many is it? Exactly 6 payouts So almost a week's worth of rune rewards. Um, and then the next iteration of this, to give a little bit of what comes next, we're working on this P&L tab, which I actually mentioned this before TCY launched, that I wanted to build a TCY dashboard. And in that dashboard, one of my dream features was to kind of copy what I've learned over the years investing in TradFi, like stocks, for example, like dividend stocks, to take some of those dashboards that they have, in TradFi and layer them into the cross-chain ecosystem. And TCY is a perfect way to do that because it's kind of like a dividend token where you buy it, you stake it, you earn dividends every day. So we've taken a lot of what I've seen in TradFi and put it into the P&L dashboard. So this P&L, it'll be as a tab on the TCY dashboard. So next to rewards, probably in the next 1 or 2 days, you'll see this. We'll launch it. You'll see a P&L tab. And if you click it, it's going to show you the historical P&L of all your buys individually broken out for you. So like if you've bought TCY 50 different times at different prices on different days, it'll show you the P&L of each buy. So that's one thing that TradFi does really well that I haven't seen much in the cross-chain space, maybe anywhere. I to be honest with you, I haven't seen it anywhere. If you guys have seen it, link it to me just out of curiosity. But I've always wanted to see and I think many of us can maybe relate to this. I keep I don't even know, dozens of spreadsheets of, when I've bought something, what price I paid, what the current price is, what my P&L is. I've manually tracked all this in spreadsheets because in my opinion, with wallets, I have not seen a good P&L dashboard for decentralized exchanges. So if you want to know what you paid for something 2 years ago, I think the only way to do it right now is really a spreadsheet. So what we've done is starting with TCY, and then we're actually we're going to release it one by one for other assets like Bitcoin, ETH, and others, Rune, etc. You'll be able to track the historical P&L of every single individual buy you've ever made of that token in your specific wallet. So you'll be able to see the price you paid at the time, what day you bought it on, what asset you swapped for. You'll see all this data, in a really clean, nice looking dashboard. So we've got that, and then the P&L coming for TCY, which I think is going to be really great. So yeah, that's what we got for the TCY dashboard. Before I will talk a little bit about referrals and some of the other things we've done, because really in the past week we've released referrals, updates to the normal dashboard, and then we also released the TCY dashboard. So there's been I don't even know. I can't count at this point. I think over 100 different updates that we've rolled out to LeoDex. So it's just been very rapid. And we've just been taking in a lot of feedback and iterating as fast as we can, which, as you guys know, that's how we operate. I love negative feedback. So if you guys hate something on LeoDex, please tag me and tell me what you don't like and how you think it could be better, or maybe if there's a feature that you wish was there that isn't there right now. I want to keep adding as much as we can. So negative feedback is extremely important for us, and just tag me anytime to tell me what you want to see. One example of that is a lot of people have been tagging me asking for Voltisig as a sign-in option on LeoDex. So that's what the team's working on right now. Is we've got a team member working on the Voltisig integration, and then a team member working on the P&L integration for the TCY dashboard. So we're hard charging in a lot of different directions. So the more feedback you guys can bring into us, the better we can make LeoDex, and the more volume we can attract, which means more Leo getting bought off the market, and us getting close to that 4.4 million a month target. So, Task, if you have any questions on that, let me know. Otherwise, we can look at the audience in Threadcast.
Yeah, I'll bring up the audience questions. But one thing I wanted to mention is do not underestimate that P&L. And you think about the marketability to either Bitcoin maxis and or Ethereum maxis. Just those two alone. I mean, think about that. How do you figure out what you paid for something? You got to go through with Ethereum, obviously, you got to go through ETHScan or ArbScan or any of those and just figure out where you bought and go through your transactions manually if you're not doing the spreadsheet. and having that all in one. Think about that. If you're a heavy Bitcoin trader or a heavy Ethereum trader or a heavy whatever trader, and you have that, the fees are almost secondary, as long as they're comparable. But if the fee is a few bucks more, people aren't going to care if they have that dashboard. So that could be something huge. So keep that in mind, folks. All right, I'm going to start from the bottom. Andresino, how is Rafiki doing? Not seen him around in a couple of days.
Yeah, we pulled it back to work on some things, as you guys probably know. It started interacting with some other agents and it created some loops. So we are working on it.
Okay. DKid14, I am a Key Store user. When will I be able to see my staked Leo and Cacao on LeoDex IO?
If you're a Key Store user, you can sign in anytime to LeoDex using the Key Store. In terms of Leo, we have a Leo page that we're going to be working on. Once we kind of get past a lot of these TCY features that I'm excited to roll out. So in a post TCY landscape, and the title of this is obviously what's next for LeoDex. So good question. One of the next things that we roll out is going to be the ability to stake and track Leo. So obviously kind of taking a lot of that TCY dashboard element and then track the buybacks of Leo using our affiliate revenue. So, in terms of things like, swapping and Cacao and your Key Store, you can do all that right now. In terms of staking Leo on LeoDex, that is a coming soon feature, but it is coming soon.
Okay, D-Kid also mentioned Leo is not swappable right now. When will it be back?
So Leo is not swappable at the moment on LeoDex because it is listed on Maya protocol as an Arbitrum asset. So Arbitrum on Maya is currently offline. I know that the Maya team's been working on it for a few days. So they're working on quite a few things, including Zcash right now. But as soon as that is rolled out and fixed, you can trade Leo again on LeoDex. But it is an Arbitrum token, so keep that in mind. And you can track, if you go to LeoDex and click the dynamic island at the bottom of the screen, one of the tabs is called network status. If you click that, it'll show you the status of each network. I'll actually do it and then just share a screenshot in the threadcast too. But if you do that, you'll see that Arbitrum is listed as offline at the moment. So as soon as that says online again, you'll be able to trade Arbitrum assets, which includes Leo.
All right, Andersino asks, when will you get Leo Ref and LeoDex merged on S-Scanner? I can answer this. It doesn't matter because you click on one or the other. It gives you the total when it opens up a new page. So,
yeah. So I have reached out to the maintainer of X-Scanner to talk about it, but I did hear he was out, for a few days or so. So as soon as we can, we'll get it fixed. But yeah, the reason why it's separated is because the way the referral system works that we built, there's two different affiliate addresses. So if you don't use a referral link and you swap on LeoDex, 100% of the affiliate revenue goes to the main Leo affiliate. If you do use a referral link, then the affiliate fee gets split. So the affiliate fee is the same no matter what. It's either 0.45% or 0.45%. But when you use a referral link, it sends 0.3% to the Leo affiliate. And then we have a secondary affiliate called LREF. And it sends the 0.15% to that LREF address. And then every 1st and 15th of each month, your referral rewards get paid out from the LREF address to your connected Thorchain, Arbitrum, or Maya address. So, if you refer someone who swaps on Thorchain, you obviously earn Rune for that referral. If you refer someone for Maya, you earn Cacao. And if they swap on ChainFlip, you earn USDC on Arbitrum. So that's how the referral system works. And like I said, we can get into that later too, because we just launched it in the past week. But the first referral payouts are actually happening on the 15th, which is in 2 days. So that will be the first time that the referrals get paid out. I think it's going to be really interesting to see. I was looking in the LREF address, and there's like already $4,000 in there in terms of affiliate earnings for referrals. So that 4,000 has been earned by whoever's done those referrals. So on the 15th of the month, those will get distributed. What I hope to see is that people are like, oh wow, this actually works. Because obviously, until something gets paid out for the first time, I think people are just questioning if it's real. So once that first payout happens, I'm kind of hoping we see more people use the referral system. I think it's been awesome already. I mean, we've seen, I'm sure Task, you've been watching Xscanner pretty closely. There's been a few $100,000 that have rolled through the referral system already. So that's been a great addition to total volume.
Yeah, I have been watching it on a daily basis just to get an idea of what's going on. Andersino asked, what is next on the LeoDex roadmap? You kind of went into that, so we'll skip that. Brando, was there any perks for Leo stakers on LeoDex, like discounts on fees? You can't stake on LeoDex as of yet. That's coming soon.
That is a good point to get at, as one of the future features. I've considered a few different models because other apps have done things where you can stake the token, their token, and get tiered fees. So that is still something I'm thinking about. I haven't picked a direction yet. One other thing I've been considering is either instead of or in addition to that, doing a tiered system where when you stake Leo, you actually earn a higher share of the referral fees. So, for example, you could come in and stake like 10,000 Leo. And if you do, your referral fee increases from 33%, because right now you get 1/3 of the total affiliate fee. So we charge 0.45% to the end swapper. And if you're a referrer, you get 0.15% of that, and then LeoDex gets 0.3%. One of my ideas is that instead of going the route that others have gone, which is to do staking for lower fees as a trader, you could actually get higher percent share of referral fees from other traders. So instead of, say, getting 33%, you might get 50% of the affiliate fee on any swaps that you refer if you have Leo staked. And then we can add tiers to that. So like I said, either in addition to or instead of the tiered system for swapping, for getting lower swap fees, we may do higher referral fees, because I think it creates some interesting game theory, which I'll let you mentally explore. But I think it creates some interesting game theory.
I would say the idea is do both. Add 2 utility to the Leo token.
Yeah, very, very possible that we add both.
Khan asks, how do you see the Leo price reflecting the utility of LeoDex in the next few months? Any growth signals we should watch for?
Yeah, I would say the main growth signal to watch for is the volume. So, and we keep talking about Xscanner. I saw a few people ask what Xscanner is. So let me just drop the link to Leo on Xscanner. But Xscanner is basically a block scanner for cross-chain. So you can track, Thorchain and Maya swaps. And then you can also track other things like the different interfaces. So when Task and I have been talking about Xscanner, there's this specific link I just dropped where you can click on it and see LeoDex's stats each day, yesterday, and then for the past week. So it's a good way to track the volume on LeoDex. So, I think the lead indicator is seeing that volume grow. And obviously, since the TCY launch, the volume has been growing. We got some recognition, and I think, the ecosystem has appreciated us a little bit for trying to be on top of the TCY launch, as best as we can. So now that we've got the TCY dashboard, I think that also adds to, the utility around it. If you look at the volume that we actually do each day, the vast majority of it is TCY trading. So I think a lot of people have kind of equated us as the premier place to swap TCY, and obviously to be able to stake TCY as well. And now with the dashboard, you can also track the rewards and other things like that. So I think the market kind of looks at us for TCY stuff. hopefully what we see over time is more and more penetration for LeoDex, which means when people think of doing a 4-chain swap or a Maya swap, they think of LeoDex and they think of being able to swap anything on there that they want with lower fees and the referral system and the new P&L tracker that we've got coming. So yeah, I think over time it's just tracking the volume and seeing that volume grow, and you can do your own math on the velocity of that growth. So if you see the growth happening and you see the growth increasing, then hopefully that gives you a good lens into what Leo might do in the future. So far, the utility aspect of it has been growing a lot, and getting some initial volume matters. Prior to 2 weeks ago, we really weren't getting much volume at all, so wasn't really any volume to be talking about. But now it's nice, like Tass said. I mean, the volume's minuscule compared to the rest of the industry, but it's a lot better than what we were getting before.
Well, during this call, 26 minutes ago, there was a $3,200 swap of TCY for Rune, and that brought in $14.48 in fees, which that's what, about 750 Leo that'll be bought. Actually, half of that because it buys Leo and cacao, but that's how quickly things can work.
Absolutely. Yeah. And putting our name out there, putting content out there, being a part of the ecosystem, that's what we do best. I mean, you saw it within Leo over the years. We built up a great, brand and space in the Hive ecosystem. And that's what ultimately brought us a lot of users. A lot of you guys have come from that. So, that's what we do best, I think, is we try to find where we can add value. And then we add value and we take in feedback quickly. We iterate fast. We innovate and add new features and try to create the best UX that we can. And like I said, our strength is kind of twofold. One, we've got the community, which is you guys. So we're not coming into this fresh as like a nobody. We're coming into this with our own sizable community of, thousands of Leo stakeholders. And then two, our team, we've been building crypto apps for over 6 years now. And within Leo, it was very heavily UX development. So we've learned a lot about how to build for an end user and make them happy and give an end user a good experience. So all of that stuff is layered into what we do with LeoDex. So it's not just like, okay, we started, really focusing on LeoDex in the past like 2 months. And now, that's all we've got. It's years of refining our approach and now applying that to LeoDex full time.
Well, and just to iterate on what you're saying, it actually leads into the next question. Khan asked, what's one key feature you think LeoDex needs to truly stand out in DeFi space, especially now that competition is heating up? And I think we answered that. You have the TCI, you have the TCY dashboard now. So now TCY users who seem to be gravitating to LeoDex, they're going to see the dashboard. They'll see what they bought and sold TCY for, yada, yada, yada. Next, you add, let's say, a Bitcoin dashboard. Well, these TCY traders, some of them buy and sell Bitcoin. And so you have that. And now you can track your Bitcoin, then your Ethereum, then your Solana, or whatever you keep adding, and you keep growing this. And not only do you get the more utility out of the TCY users, if you keep putting that word out there and started tracking the Bitcoin maxis or the Ethereum maxis, and people are sitting there saying, well, I use this wallet, I use Control for my EVMs, and they give me no dashboard. This now gives me a dashboard. So I think that's one feature that really makes it stand out.
Yeah, and it's like I said, we spent a few months really working on swaps and making the best swapping system that we can. That's obviously highly reliable. That's the core product, right? Is swapping. Now it's about adding features that are kind of built around that. And the more that we add, the more that we innovate, the more unique things that we develop, the better that LeoDex will get adopted. And like I keep saying, that penetration rate really matters. So growing that feature set is really important. And like Tass said, offering things that aren't offered elsewhere is really important. So I think the first time we've really done that is with the dashboard. So the main dashboard, the referral system, and then the TCY dashboard. That's us kind of venturing out into things that haven't been done yet. And obviously referrals have been done, but I don't think referrals have been done like this. That's just my opinion. And I've obviously looked out at the rest of the market and seen what's been done with referrals. And we also have experience with referrals on Inleo, as many of you know. So taking a lot of what we learned from that, applying it to LeoDex referrals. So I'm very happy with it. And I think, like I said, the first payout happens in 2 days. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how people react to that.
Yeah, and here's an interesting one. Actually, a suggestion that I kind of agree with, because it's the same as the TCY vein, targeting particular communities or particular projects. Ahmed asks, can we ask you to unlock tokens to be swappable on LeoDex? And then this is the feedback from a tag that he put below. Unlock the VVV token, which I believe is Venice AI, on LeoDex. You're losing on massive affiliate fees for my transactions alone. So evidently, Ahmed swaps a lot of VVV. And he said right now he uses Uniswap for that. VVV is the token that's associated, I believe, with Venice AI, which is becoming more and more popular, and actually Rafiki uses. So that's something interesting, a nice tie-in. Can you answer that about adding some unswappable tokens, and maybe what the process is of that? Can you DM you, and will you just add it, or what's the deal on that?
Yeah, well, so LeoDex doesn't actually have any tokens, right? Like we don't run any pools. There are no pools on LeoDex. The LeoDex is an interface to Thorchain, Maya, and Chainflip. So we don't list anything. What we do is interface with those blockchains, those blockchain protocols. So for example, if you want to swap VVV, it needs to be listed on a cross-chain ecosystem, protocol. So I'm pretty sure, I may have missed this. I'm like 99% sure that a VVV pool has been in the works on Thorchain. I do think that that's coming soon. And as soon as that pool is live, it'll be tradable on LeoDex. So very similar to TCY, like we're monitoring for new pools, and when they become available for trading, whether it's Thorchain, Maya, or Chainflip, we're going to be first in line to be ready for that. Especially so that we can, welcome in a new ecosystem, welcome in new volume. So VVV is on that list. If their pool goes live, and like I said, I thought I saw something about it the other day. And then obviously Zcash, I mentioned before, is something that's being worked on by the Maya team. So we will, obviously we don't actually support. I think the point I'm trying to make is we don't actually support any tokens. We support the protocol. So we support Maya, we support Thorchain, and we support Chainflip. And if those protocols support a certain asset, then LeoDex has it, just because we tap into those protocols.
Okay. Khan asked, and I know the answer to this, could we ever see a LeoDex mobile app, something that makes trading and tracking easier on the go? Have you not learned from TikTok and the banning of TikTok? LeoDex mobile app, Leo mobile app puts you at the mercy of Apple and Google. And if they kick your ass off, you're off. That's why progressive web apps seem to be the thing. Is that correct, Cal?
Yeah, that is, that's, and I've talked about this for years with Inleo, because obviously everybody wants Inleo to be a mobile app that they can download on the App Store. My problem with app stores is that they can kick you off at any time for whatever reason they want. And the deeper you are in this industry, the higher the likelihood is that they decide that they don't like you. Actually, if you go back a little bit in time, we created a Leo mobile app. We actually purchased another app from the Hive ecosystem, who had gone out of business. So we acquired them and their entire code base. Excuse me, and we started refactoring it for use as a Leo mobile app. For Leo, which is for Inleo, which is obviously like similar to X, but on the blockchain. So we started refactoring it for our own use, and then Elon Musk acquired Twitter, which is now X, and there was talk of removing Twitter from the App Store, and we were working on this. I was already kind of sour towards app stores because we had, Inleo was actually on the App Store, as obviously back then it was called Leo Finance. But we were actually on the App Store for a short period of time. And then we were kind of battling with Apple. They kept like randomly taking us down or putting us under review, asking me for all sorts of, information around our code base and things about crypto wallets and whatnot. So we ended up, spending enormous amounts of time, resources, and energy working with the Apple App Store on the original Inleo app. And it ended up just being such a waste of time that I was growing sour towards it. Then the whole Twitter thing happened. And then I was like, you know what? If they can say that they're going to remove Twitter, then I don't even want to put any energy into these apps anymore. I'd rather build really great web apps and get usage as a web app. As a website, you can't be taken away. And obviously everything at the end of the day is owned by the Leo DAO. So in theory, consider like a nuclear scenario being that all the domains get ripped away and we get shut down in some way. You guys, the Leo stakeholders, own all the technology. So you just spin up a new app on a new domain, and the app lives on. All the data is on chain, and all the technology is owned by the Leo DAO. So it's we've created a way for us to remain no matter what happens, and whether that's Inleo or LeoDex. That's going to be the way we operate going forward. In terms of doing a mobile app, I have actually put more thought into it, especially as regulations and the app stores have loosened their grip a little bit. And I do see the success of other cross-chain apps, like Thor Wallet, et cetera. So the team and I, the way we're building LeoDex is in a way where we can backport everything we're doing into a mobile app. So we will do a mobile app at some point in the future. I don't know when that will be. Will it be 2 months from now? Will it be 2 years from now? I don't know. For now, I would just continue to say focus on the web app, get usage on the web app. The lead domino is trading volume for LeoDex, and that's where we need to all be focused on. So focusing on making the best cross-chain experience we can, and look at centralized exchanges. The vast majority of them, in the past and still to this day, I would say more than 90% of that volume is done via a website, not an application. So I don't know if they actually put out any data on that, because obviously they're centralized exchanges. But when I used things like Binance and other centralized exchanges in the past, I always used a web app. I prefer it actually. So and especially when you're using things like a Ledger, Keystore and other wallets, it kind of gets clunky to use like all these different applications. Honestly, it's a little clunky. So when we do a mobile app, and I do think we will one day, it'll be really good. It won't be clunky. But for now, web app is the way.
Okay. A lot of questions here, people, where I don't know, are you just trolling or do you really not know the answers? I mean, like what's the fee structure on LeoDex? Go there, it tells you. Go to Xscanner. Data set, I have noticed trouble with LeoDex wallet. Why is it's not simplified like MetaMask? Well, LeoDex isn't a wallet. LeoDex is an interface to your MetaMask wallet or your control wallet. So I don't even know what is being asked there. Let's go back into some of the early questions. Brando did have a request to add Rabby wallet. We can connect Rabby by clicking the MetaMask logo, but crypto nerds like me love to see a separate Rabby logo login method. So food for thought. I don't know anything about Rabby, but Brando obviously uses Rabby.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it. I mean, if you can connect with MetaMask, that's good. There is a potential to add like other wallet. I've seen that done in other places where people can do, those wallets that have been made to essentially like override each other, like MetaMask, Brave Wallet, things like that. I do think we could potentially do like an other wallet feature where you can kind of connect any wallet, and you can kind of customize that experience. We just need to think of a good UX decision on that front. So we'll work on that later. I do think the majority, our focus, especially right now, because we're so early, and really when you look at it, we're catching up to people who have been building interfaces in this space for 5 years, right? So, we're still playing catch up and adding even the most basic of features to LeoDex. So obviously we are starting to add a lot of different stuff like the dashboard and referrals and things like that, P&L and other things I've always wanted. But at the end of the day, like there's still a lot of core things that we're missing. So we need to kind of focus on those things. And the way I've prioritized a lot of things is, okay, what is the total addressable market of, this specific wallet? And how, if our end goal is 4.4 million or more in volume, that's kind of like the near term target for LeoDex per month. We need to really focus on what could drive the most volume. So, adding certain wallets over other ones is not because we don't care about those other wallets. It's because I think we need to focus on the most used stuff first, and then we can add those kind of edge case things later. So the long-winded answer is we need to kind of make a priority list, and we obviously have one, but we'll get to those things as we continue to grow.
All right. I also sent you
Multi-sig is next. Speaking of wallets, though, and I did mention that, but multi-sig will get added next, and probably in the next, I think probably by tomorrow at the latest, we'll have multi-sig live.
All right. I sent you a thread. Brando did put up an example of it. I sent it on Discord. Put up a screenshot of a P&L that's out there. So you may want to take a look at that. Lord Shaw asked, and maybe you could quickly go through the process. Of course, it doesn't work till Leo is back online with LeoDex, which Cal just said Arbitrum's down. But how can I send Hive Engine Leo to LeoDex address and convert them to TCY? Maybe just quickly run through that process, Cal, so those who are new maybe and don't know about wleo.io. Can you tell them about that, the steps there?
Yeah, so like Tass just mentioned as well, Arbitrum is offline on Maya protocol. So Leo is obviously an Arbitrum token listed on Maya. So until Arbitrum's back online, this won't work. But when it is back online and you want to use it, you can follow these steps if you want to go from Leo to TCY. Leo on Hive Engine specifically. If you're already on Arbitrum, it's just a one-click thing. But if you're on the Hive Engine version of Leo, you go to wleo.io and you pick the Arbitrum option, and then you will wrap your Leo from Hive Engine to Arbitrum, and then it'll obviously the bridge converts your Hive Engine Leo to Arbitrum Leo, and then you go to leodex.io, and then you just swap the Arbitrum Leo for TCY. Or I'm sorry, you're going to have to go from Arbitrum Leo to Rune on Maya, and then from Rune you can go to TCY on Thorchain. So it is a few steps. It's only like 3 steps, but especially when you get well versed. Maybe the first time you do it, it'll be a little bit slower, but like I can do that whole process in maybe 2 minutes or less. So you need to go through a few different blockchains if you want to go from Hive Leo to other assets. Lord Shaw said, how long will it take for Arbitrum to get online? I have no idea. It's all on the Maya protocol team. So obviously their team's really talented. I'm very confident they'll get it online soon. I think that they're working on, kind of bigger core fixes around it, though. It's not just as simple as like, hey, let's just put it back online.
Andersino, what account does the Leo buyback so Lions can keep track? Out of what account is the buyback?
Yeah, it's the Leo and LREF affiliate addresses. So I'd say the best way to track it is Xscanner. You can really just see those.
I think he's referring
daily
to
figures.
I think he's referring to when the actual buys take place. But
Yeah, those are randomized. But yeah, you can track the address and try to front run it if you want. But yeah, they're pretty random.
Yeah, I don't think don't understand. I don't think he's trying to front run. I think he's just saying that out of curiosity. Data stat. Do we have an option to convert Leo to Solana and vice versa on LeoDex? Yeah, I think there's a swap to Solana, or is Solana not on one of the protocols?
No, it is. So if you want, so they said Leo. So if you want to go from Leo to Solana, your Leo's on Maya. Like I said, Solana's on Chainflip. So you'll have to go from Leo to something that's available on Chainflip and Maya. So you'll go from Leo to, I'd say probably the best one would be like Ethereum or Bitcoin, and then you can do either one of those to Solana afterwards.
Shibi, is there any chance Hive engine system, Hive Layer 2, will work like some kind of Thorchain or Maya protocol on LeoDex? No, I think the move here, we talked about this about 4 weeks ago, is actually having the Leo token being centrally focused, if you will, or focused on Arbitrum instead of Hive engine, because the tentacles are much greater and much wider. The Hive engine development just isn't there. So,
yeah, I think the volume, the development, it's just not there. I think it's great for what it's used for as a social layer on Hive. So, uh, but in the in the grand scheme of things, Thorchain, Maya, Chainflip, those are the priorities. And then, one thing we've actually been working on, which I haven't talked much about yet. I'll talk more about it when we get closer. But we've been working on the ability to do those one-click Hive swaps again with the new system. And in addition to that, we're working on the ability to actually aggregate Thorchain and Maya together. So if you wanted to do, like someone asked, how you can do a Leo to TCY swap, being that Leo's an Arbitrum token on Maya and Arbitrum's not listed on Thorchain, you have to do a swap on Maya to an asset that's also on Thorchain. And that's kind of like a way to kind of bridge your funds over, essentially, and so to speak. Obviously, there's no bridges involved. But we've had this idea of a way to open a swap channel. It's kind of inspired by Chainflip, some of the elements of Chainflip and Maya, and essentially what we're thinking about doing is a swap channel where you can do a one-click swap across Thorchain and Maya assets. So we would apply that also to Hive assets as well, probably just to Hive, HBD, and Leo, to be honest. But that swap channel would allow you to move funds very seamlessly across even cross-chain protocols that aren't linked to each other. So before we, I don't want to give too many details of that right now, but I will talk about it when we get closer.
yeah, and a way to think about it is the proof of brain features are Hive engine. So that's where you stake your Leo, you do your upvotes and all of that stuff. But the majority of the financial development will be LeoDex, will be Arbitrum Leo, will be based on that. And Cal already mentioned future ideas of staking your Leo on Arbitrum for different benefits and different utility and things of that nature. So, Wananda, to be clear, if we create the affiliate code with the Thorchain address, does it mean that we will get the commission from anyone who uses our referral ID to make any swap, or do we have to create different affiliate codes to receive the commission for different swaps connected to Maya and Thorchain?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the way we built the referral system is when you create your referral code, it asks you if you're not already connected with a Thorchain, Maya, and Arbitrum address, it'll ask you to input one manually. So the reason it asks you for all three when you create your referral code is because it ties that referral code to all three addresses all at once. So that means that anytime you share that referral code, it already knows you're receiving Thorchain, you're receiving Maya, and you're receiving Arbitrum address for the three different protocols. So no, you don't have to create new referral codes. You can use the same. Once you create a referral code, you can earn Cacao, Rune, and USDC for sharing your referral link. It just doesn't matter what protocol they swap or when. You'll earn, the like-kind rewards for each swap. Like I said, paid out on the 1st and 15th of every month. So yeah, that was a big point for me, is like, I didn't, and there's a reason why you can't like edit your referral codes. Like once you make a referral code, you can't edit it. You can't edit the addresses you're receiving to. We've made it like a very seamless experience, which also means that it's something that you can't really modulate. Like you just like it happens, and then that's how it is forever. So if you did want to change something, you basically just have to create a new referral code. And referral codes are also unique. So if you have a certain name that everybody knows you by, I would create your referral code sooner than later, because if someone else squats it or takes it, that is what it is.
Okay. Shebi, however you pronounce it. What about Rango? I don't see him as a trade option. What's the deal on Rango? Maybe explain that.
We've run into a few roadblocks with the Rango integration, but Rango is an aggregator. So Rango actually aggregates. It actually works. So you can use Rango to actually do like Thorchain swaps, for example. But it also can be used on other protocols, if that makes sense. So they aggregate a bunch of different protocols, and kind of like SwapKit, very similar to it if you're familiar with that. So we've added Rango support. We've had it for a while, but we've just had a few roadblocks. So we just paused it on the production side of things. And then obviously the TCY launch happened, so we put a lot of effort there. I would say by the end of this month, we'll have Rango fully live. And the key there is that they aggregate other protocols that aren't cross-chain. So things like things outside of like Thorchain, Maya, Chainflip. So when you quote a swap, you'll actually be able to swap with other tokens that aren't even available on those big three cross-chain protocols. So again, just adding more optionality. So we will, I think we'll have that live by the end of the month. Pretty confident about that.
Self-Help Patrol said, "Don't say penetration, please. My mind is still on partner swapping. He must have had an interesting weekend." Ahmed wants to, can we get the address for Leo affiliate rewards in Cacao Rune? I want to keep it open in tab and track it. I don't know what he's referring to. Maybe you did.
Yeah, again, I think Xscanner is the best way to track that. So yeah, I would use Xscanner.
Okay, Ahmed, question, is this normal? The volume and yield tags ask me to log into the wallet, but I'm already logged in, and #bug and feedback.
Yeah, I typed out a reply to him. Those
Okay.
the volume airdrop and the Leo liquidity rewards, those tabs aren't live yet. So actually, I got to talk to the devs of why they put that there. But it's supposed to say coming soon, not connect wallet once you've connected your wallet. So those are not live yet. But we will change the little message that you see there.
Carefree agreed with you. Phone-based apps are done. It's no longer a prerequisite. Let's see.
Yeah, if you got a few more questions, I should jump right at 1:30. But yeah, if we got a few more, we could tackle them real quick.
I'm just scrolling through here. LeoDex is an interface, not a wallet. You got to connect the wallet to it. You want to quickly go through the idea you DM me?
And I'll let's save that. Okay. Let's put a pin in that one. Yeah, I would say for my final thoughts would be, the title of this was "What's Next for LeoDex." We obviously covered a lot of that stuff, but Vultisig is going to get added, so that'll be in the next kind of 24 hours. The next thing will be the P&L. So we're going to be adding P&L for TCY. So on your TCY dashboard, there's going to be a new tab called P&L. It'll show you the individual profit and loss of every swap you've made for TCY. So if you've bought TCY, like I said, 50 different times on 50 different days, it'll show you the individual P&L for all of those and your total P&L. And then one of the other things I wanted to do with that, and we've spent a lot of time on the math behind this, but I think it's going to be really cool when it's ready. I actually had this idea because I saw a user on X talking about the TCY that they claimed based on the Bitcoin that they got or Bitcoin that they had in ThorFi. And they were basically talking about, how long it'll take, they think, to get paid back the full Bitcoin value. So I kind of had this idea to do the P&L, not only for when you buy TCY, but also for your original claim from the ThorFi side of things. So we've done a lot of math and connected to the different APIs to do a P&L for claims as well. So your claim will actually look separate from your other TCY, and it'll take into account the value of your assets when ThorFi was frozen in February. It'll take into account the real-time value of those assets. It also takes into account the APR of TCY right now, and then it also will project out and try to predict when you will get fully paid back. So, for example, if you had $100,000 in ThorFi, TCY is like 30 cents right now. So, how long does it take to go from that kind of like $30,000 mark to $100,000 in value? Given the APR yield on TCY and the current price, and some other variables like that. So it'll be cool to show not only the P&L on the buys you've made, but also the P&L on the claim. So I think that'll be a cool feature for ThorFi affected users who want to come in and track, and see how long it'll take. It'll say like, how far are you from getting fully paid back in terms of the ThorFi claim. So things like that, I think, are going to be cool little features. And then, like I said, we're talking to Kujira Index, about what they're working on. So we'll have some other cool stuff as it comes out as well. But that's all I got for now. I would say keep your eyes open for the P&L and Voltisig next. And then we've got some cool stuff coming after that. Any final thoughts, Task?
No, just looked at Xscan because somebody asked for the link, and up to almost 20,000, about 1,100 more trades in TCY. So we're making a name for ourselves there, and that's I think that's a good starting point.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, we just got to keep growing the volume, keep growing the users, keep making the user experience better. That's the key. It's not it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a lot of work. So I'm really happy with the team. I've been pushing them very hard for the last 2 weeks, as you can imagine, with the number of updates we've rolled out. But yeah, been pushing them super hard.
Well, and I think all those people swap in TCY, they're going to love that P&L.
Yeah, the P&L is going to be huge. The P&L is going to be very, very good. Yeah, as soon as that's live, I'll be posting about it on Inleo, and if you guys can give me feedback on it, how we can improve it, that would be great. I think it's going to be really good, for everybody. It's something I definitely want to see. I mean, it's like I said, for years I've been using spreadsheets to track my P&L and what I bought something for on what specific day. So I've really and I'm a big believer in like making products for yourself. So I am going to be user number one on the ability to see my TCY P&L on all the different buys I've made, instead of using a spreadsheet to track all of it. So that'll be fun to do. And obviously we'll have like a Leo P&L one day and Bitcoin P&L and other things. So it'll be a lot of fun to see that evolve. But yeah, thanks Task for joining me. Keep up the volume, keep up the users. The more users and volume we have on LeoDex, the more it kind of attracts. It's kind of like chicken and egg a little bit, where people are looking for UIs that have volume because then they know that they work well. So if you guys are there and make your swaps on LeoDex, it'll help LeoDex grow as well. And then, like I said, keep giving us feedback. The feedback is really critical, especially the negative feedback that helps us make things better. Sweet. All right. Yeah. Thanks again, Task. Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you guys. We've got a chain chatter tomorrow at noon Eastern. Baloney Bones from the, Thorchain Academy project is going to be joining us. So set your reminders. I'll start putting out announcements today for noon Eastern tomorrow. But let's have a big turnout for that as well. Those Chain Chatter podcasts are a great way to put our name out there and get more users as well. So again, leaning into the content as a good way to grow both now and in the long term. But yeah, see you guys tomorrow at noon Eastern.
Ciao.